Hey guys, EBPMAN here, and we're back from CES, and we were able to pick up at the show the Google Pixel Buds. Let's go ahead and check it out. While at CES, I have to say that we saw Google everywhere. There was a lot of advertising about Google and the services it provides, primarily really focused on the Google ecosystem around smart speakers. But while we were there, they were very nice to give us the Google Pixel Buds. So I wanted to share with you my experience with the Google Pixel Buds, as they are the latest and greatest in audio solutions from Google that not only allow you to listen to music, but also are tied to their voice translation capabilities. All right, so being able to listen to someone in one language and then hear or understand, have that translated into another. So let's do the unboxing, and then we'll see how these features work. Now the case itself is cloth, but it's not collapsible, right? So it looks like there's some type of plastic shell around it, because at first I thought that it was all material because of how it is. So let's get a little closer there so you can see that. All right. As we saw in the back here, you do have a charging port, USB-C, and then we'll go ahead and open it. Yeah, it's magnetic too, so that's nice. So when you close it, you notice how it just closes. Boom, just like that. So that'll be good for travel. Here's a little diagram that shows you how to wrap things up. So you notice how things are wrapped here. So just to show you, it goes around, and there's a little groove right here that it goes in. Goes all the way around, and then once you're done, you kind of bring it in here just like that, and then you can close it. My guess is that if you don't do that the way they have it designed, it won't close. And the magnet seems to be pretty strong. The other thing that you'll notice is that there is a little LED indicator here telling you how much battery life you have. I wonder if that turns on every time you open it. Yeah, it does. So as soon as you open it, it tells you how much battery life you have, and that means that these buds are already charged. So let's go ahead and pair this with a Google Pixel, and we'll see how they work. All right, so let's talk about the earbuds just for a second. So you notice on the bottom, each one has a right and left indicator, and you have your contact charging points. You have the loops, which are customizable, and all you have to do is move this memory bead down so that the loop stays in the same place with each use. If you find that the loops are different from each one based on your preference in your ears, don't worry about it, because our ears are different. Our left ear and our right ear aren't 100% exactly the same, so having different size loops is normal and expected. You'll notice that on this piece in particular, there's this little pinhole right there. Put it in an angle. Let's see if you can see that right there. That's your mic. As you touch, especially the right one, which you'll be using a lot, this is the one that's going to have all those functions: answering calls, press and hold to activate the assistant. All that stuff is happening. So there aren't any kind of buttons except this large surface area that's a button. When you are going to put them to sleep, you put them back in the case, and when you're going to use them, you just take them off and you tap them twice to turn them on. All right, so now let's go ahead and talk specs. From a weight perspective, these things are light. They are super light, 0.5 ounces, 14 grams. From a battery perspective, these have 120 milliamp hour batteries, with the case having a 620 milliamp hour battery. You're going to get 5 hours of listening time with one single charge. They say that you're going to get up to 24 hours of usage based on the case and combining with the charge that you have on the Pixel Buds themselves. I could not find anything that spoke about IP certification, so sweat resistance, water resistance. Didn't see anything of the sort anywhere in the documentation, and nor did I get a good response from Google when I asked them via the community. They do have a mic for taking phone calls. I would say the performance of the call quality is pretty much a part of what I've noticed from any kind of buds like this that aren't really designed to be, call quality buds versus music quality buds. So these are definitely focusing on, they're great for music and they do a decent job when it comes to audio calls, but they're not doing anything spectacular when it comes to that. So all in all, again, some very decent specs. So this is what the pairing process is like. Now keep in mind that this is going to work with any phone. So this will work with an iPhone, this will work with a tablet, this will work with a laptop. In this case, I'm going to use a Pixel phone just because that's what I have available right now. The pairing process starts with just opening up the case. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the case. The light is on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scan for a new device. So that's why I'm pressing pair new device. And what should happen is I should be able to see the Pixel earbuds show up. So we're going to look for them to show up in this list. It's going through all the Bluetooth devices we have in the home, and then I'll choose it, and then we'll pair. Now I was waiting for the buds to show up on my Bluetooth listed devices, and they weren't. And this is something I just want to share with you because you're probably going to run into the same problem. You'll notice that the LED now is showing 1 bar and that it's charging. And that's because when you get your buds, there's going to be a piece of plastic or film paper that's covering these contact points, which means your buds are not charged. So before you can go through the pairing process, you need to make sure that they're charged. So make sure that you remove the little piece of paper that's available on each one of these, place them back in the cradle, and then close them up and let them charge. Once you have them fully charged, then you'll be able to pair. Alright, so now that I've fully charged the buds, you'll notice that I have this message. As soon as you open it up, I got this message to tap to connect. So now it's going to connect and pair the buds. So we're going to go ahead and set up the assistant and go through the process. We're going to go ahead and choose next. Now it's giving you a tutorial about how the earbuds are configured. Now you'll notice that the earbuds themselves have these loops. These loops are also your ear stabilizers. And you'll notice right here, we'll get a little bit closer so you can see that, you can adjust the loops so that they fall in the inside portion of your ear and kind of form themselves to the cartilage that you have there. So you'll personalize that as you're setting them up. You want to hit here, have your assistant read out notifications for you. So we're going to say yes. And these are the notifications or the apps that I have on this phone. There are not many. So all I'll do is I'll turn this one on. Alright, so it's giving us some additional information, and this is really important. We talked about this when we did the unboxing, the importance of wrapping around the cord and making sure that it gets tucked in order to be able to close the case, because this is going to be able to support the sleep mode and make sure that your batteries charge correctly. So notice right here it says to wake them, take them out of the case and double tap the right earbud. That's how you'll turn them on. Now the Google Assistant can also be accessed through the earbuds. You'll notice all you'll have to do here is just press and hold the right earbud, and you can go ahead and access the assistant. Let's go ahead and hit done. And that's pretty much it. So let's see what it says here. So giving me information that it's connected, that there's a firmware version. I don't know if there's a way to update that. We'll learn that a little bit later. Some additional tutorials, the status, serial number, and that's pretty much it. So that's all to it. That's what you need to set up. Now let's take a look at translation and how it works. So I have the earbuds on, and what we're going to do is I'm going to press the right earpiece, and I'm going to ask Google to help me translate or speak in Spanish. So I'm going to press and hold and do it. Help me speak in Spanish. So I hear a message in my ear saying opening Google Translate. Now a couple things that you're going to notice. First of all, the English is chosen as the primary language. Spanish is chosen as the secondary language. So it's going to listen to what I say in English, and then it's going to translate it in Spanish. So let's go ahead and try what that sounds like. So what I'm going to do is you're going to see a couple things happen here. First of all, you're going to see the words in English appear on the top, and the Spanish version you're going to see it on the bottom, but it's also going to speak it loudly. So it's using the speaker. Now you do have the ability, once you make that initial conversation in English and it translates to Spanish, you can press and hold the Spanish button for that person who's responding to you. And again, there's several languages here. I'll show you what the languages look like, but I just want to show you the process. So I'm going to go ahead and say something in English that I wanted to translate in Spanish. Let's try that. Where's the nearest restroom? So it came back speaking, I would say, in something that would be close to a European Spanish accent, and it said, ¿Dónde está el baño más cercano? It said that, and it was very clear, and it's accurate because I asked it, where's the nearest restroom? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to respond to it using Spanish, and I'm going to say where the bathroom is, and we're going to see the response. So I'm going to say the bathroom is around the corner. El baño está a la esquina. All right. Now, the translation was not 100% because I said el baño está en la esquina, meaning that the bathroom is in the corner. And here it translated the bathroom is the corner. Not 100%, not accurate. Right? So let's go ahead and try another one. Where's the nearest bus stop? So it went from English, and it basically came up with this description, and it also spoke it out, and it was accurate. Now let me go ahead and respond in Spanish. El autobús se encuentra una cuadra a la derecha. I messed this up because I actually did it through my earpiece. Let me do it over here. El autobús está a una cuadra a la derecha. Now this was accurate. The bus is 1 block to the right. So it's hit or miss on some of the translations. I'm not going to say it's 100% accurate, but I'm not going to say that it's 80% accurate. It's in the upper 90s, and that was pretty accurate. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just remove the phone from view because I want to make sure you guys can hear the actual translation taking place. And I'm going to try to ask it for a cold beer. So pretend that we're in a Spanish country and would like to have a beer. So I'm going to go ahead in English. I'm going to press it and hold my earpiece. I'd like a cold beer, please.
Me gustaría una cerveza fría, por favor.
Again, very, very accurate for that. Now, for those of you who are questioning, what other languages does it support? So let's go ahead and click this up. These are all the languages that are there. So these are the recent ones that I've been testing out, and then these are all the languages that are available. Now, you'll notice that some of them have an arrow that's pointing down. The arrow that's pointing down means that you can download the language so that you can speak it without having an internet connection. So right now it's using an internet connection to be able to do the translation. So far I would say that I've reviewed other products like the Pilot from Waverly Labs that uses a different approach. So you have 2 earpieces. I actually, and it also has something that works very similar to this. At first I was a little skeptical with how the translation would work, and if there was any value in using the earbuds, because once again, what the earbuds is giving you is the ability just to hear it in your ear. This Google Translate software is available today, and you can download it and use it if you'd like, and I actually do use it quite often. But what you're getting is now the earbud experience. So with the Google Buds, you're putting it, or the Pixel Buds in this case, all you're doing is putting them in your ear, you're pressing and holding on the right earpiece, and then you're just telling Google the language that you want to speak, and it automatically brings up the language, and it gives you the translation process for you. So does it work? Yes. Does it work perfectly? Close to, but it's still something that's pretty neat. I think there's a lot more work that translations software needs, but this is a really good start. All right, so now let's go ahead and talk about overall fit and fatigue, as well as audio quality, music quality, right? So from a fit perspective, they are very light. They are so light that I'm afraid they're going to fall out of my ear light. And it's good that it's that light because you won't experience much ear fatigue from wearing these for extra long periods. These ear loops and being able to adjust them, this is, if you notice, it's a braided material. This bothered me a little bit. I wish it was rubberized or silicone based because then it would be much more comfortable to wear. So if anything, this didn't bother me. This bothered me a little bit more than the actual earpiece itself. Now, there's not a lot of sound leakage, and I was really surprised as well. So I had this at the highest levels, which, by the way, this gets like really loud. And the people around me said they really couldn't hear the actual music. There was not much sound bleeding, if any at all. So that's good. This cord is also very light. So all in all, you can wear these for extended period of times. You don't have to worry about them falling off. They did not fall off. I did not use them for running. I don't know if I would use them for running, but it's definitely walking around, using them on the commute, no problem whatsoever. Now let's talk about audio quality. They sound good. They sound real good. So you are getting the full range. You're getting bass, you're getting mids, you're getting highs, and these things will thump. They will get so loud that they will be painfully loud. So really enjoy the audio quality. So Google really spent their time making sure that they sounded well for music, for watching YouTube. So a great experience overall. And again, you do have that differentiation of bass, mids, and highs. But if you want this thing to thump, depending on the music, you're going to get a thump in your head. So thumbs up on the overall music quality. So guys, that concludes our review and initial impressions of the Pixel Buds. Make sure you hit that subscription button on the bottom, a thumbs up if you like the video, and that way you'll get notified immediately as new videos come out. Thanks again for supporting the channel, and see you in the next one.